Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Orange Juice News and Notes around the world of Insoles. I am your host, Owen Kenoy, coming from, I was going to say coming live, but broadcasting, recording, there we go, from my basement. We are in the home stretch for the office remodel. We've got some awesome ideas from you guys, our customers, our audience, and we're going to do some orange themed stuff, which will be really cool. Stay tuned. But with me, we also have my sister and producer, Mallory. What's up, Mal? How are you this morning?
Good. Coming to you live with my coffee because I am very tired today. But we're also recording pretty early for me too. It's like 8 a.m. my time, um, which is fine. But I didn't sleep too well, so the combo is not working for me.
Funny, Mallory should say that because our topic today is actually all about sleep. I don't know if she even did that on purpose. I think she probably did because she's pretty wise. But anyway, we were talking before and she was like, yeah, I actually did not sleep well. And I didn't think about it till just now. So good one, Mal. Sleep might be the most universally agreed upon healthy habit where you hear all the time, like, hey, are you getting good sleep? I think about I have two toddlers right now, and we're always talking about like, hey, are they sleeping good? Because when they don't sleep good, they're usually a little cranky. Obviously, it's different levels when you're a toddler versus an adult, but really, the same thing applies. So everybody has a lot they want to get done. Whether it's things you have to get done or just like things you'd like to enjoy, but that takes quite a bit of energy, quite a bit of recovery as well. And sleep is such a big key. Not only can it help with just like your recovery and overall mood, but overall can really just like better your health as a whole, and help you feel better and do more, which of course is our slogan.
Yeah, I feel like sleep is one of those things like we all know is really important. It's one of like the simplest changes. There are things we can prioritize that would make a huge difference. It's also the first thing we tend to lose track of and, not do that at all. So today we're really going to just go over like why sleep matters, why we're often so bad at it. We're going to talk a little bit about our nighttime routines, what works for us, what maybe doesn't, any sleep products we've used or heard about. And then, it is an insole podcast, so we have to cover why your feet and posture also might be affecting your sleep a bit too.
Yeah, that was something that, not to like spoil why your feet might affect your sleep, but that was something that when we were going through and just like doing some research, our team was doing some research. We were like, wow, this actually does make a really big difference. And basically, it's like if you're not taking care of yourself during the day and you're getting into bed stressed, whether that's like emotionally or more so like in this case, like physically, and you're holding tension or your body's kind of beat down, that's going to make it harder for you to rest in a comfortable position. So, in a nutshell, that's kind of the deal, and we'll go over it more. But I was really surprised when we kind of brought that full circle and to realize that it does make a big difference.
Yeah, so kind of starting off, we're gonna get into like why are we so bad at sleeping? Especially people like me today. I'm bad at sleeping today because we changed our routine and let our new dog Holly sleep in bed. Apparently that made her very happy and she was just panting in my ear all night. So it was, um, I didn't sleep very well. Change in routine sometimes can do that to you, but there's a whole lot of reasons, we're not great at sleep. It's something a lot of us struggle with for a lot of different reasons. It seems basic, but it can be hard.
100%. And with sleep too, a lot of the times it's looked at like, hey, I'll go to bed when I can or once, all of like the things are done for the day, so to speak. For me personally, I fall into the trap of just like, hey, I've had a long day. The kids just got put to bed. I'm really tired, but like I haven't done anything like just to kind of like relax or just like for myself, so to speak, today. So I'm just gonna like stay up and do some things and whatever, and that can be good, but Mallory will talk about how that can lead into something totally different. Maybe it is like, hey, I want to read. a book for 30 minutes before bed, and that's great. But there are so many other things that that can become as well.
Yeah, we do not focus on scheduling our sleep enough, and like you said, we just kinda fit it in where we can. But like Owen alluded to, that little bit of you time can, easily turn into doom scroll time. Or for me, like, if I have the TV on, it just keeps me up and I'm still watching, especially if it's, like, an exciting show. I know I'm very behind, but I've been watching the show Traitors, and I can't stop once it gets going, so that's one where I cannot watch it at night, I get sucked in. I do think, yeah, like you said, reading actually is one of the few that I can do before bed because it helps me go to sleep, and my dreams tend to be a lot more interesting and less, doom scrolly, stressed, nightmare-y. I usually end up in whatever I was reading about. So, that can also be part of it if I read, like, a horrible, terrifying book, but it's maybe something calming to read at night. Um but yeah, it's easy to get sucked into, especially if you're tired, but you don't really wanna end the day or you want that little you time. Um, there's something tempting, I feel like, about that, like, time you're supposed to be asleep because 'cause you're not supposed to be working, you're not supposed to be doing chores. You know what I mean? Like, it feels like, "Oh, I don't have to be doing this because 'cause I'm supposed to be asleep, so I can actually do what I want." I feel like it's, like, a weird psychological thing. Um, However, in the long term, it definitely can affect your sleep and stress you out and kinda create a bad spiral.
So true, and for me, it's like, I made a veteran decision last night, where House of the Dragons just came out, season 3, and I haven't watched the latest episode, so nobody spoil it for me. Don't, like, send a message or leave a comment because that'll really upset me. But, I knew I had to go to bed, like, if I wanted a good night's rest or, like, my amount of sleep, which is another thing is, like, everyone has different schedules and kind of requires a different amount of sleep. I personally have read a lot about like 8 to 9 hours being an adequate amount, and that's what I experience is also good, but, some people say like, "Oh, you only need 6 hours of sleep a night," but, it really does depend on the person and your body and, I mean, also what you're doing during the day, all of that good stuff, but anyway, back to my point with House of the Dragon, I really wanted to watch it, so I at least watched, like, the first 20 minutes and then just, like, kinda figured out what was gonna go on because the episode was an hour and 20 minutes long. I could have easily stayed up, like, my eyes weren't falling asleep or anything. I could have easily stayed up and watched the rest, but I just, like, hit pause, kinda started my nighttime routine and went from there. But, another thing, and Mallory, I'm curious your experience with it, that people don't really consider is, caffeine and the relationship with caffeine and quality sleep. So, some people will say like, "Oh, I have trouble falling asleep if I drink coffee after a certain time." I mean, that's obvious why that would be problematic if you can't fall asleep. I personally don't have that problem, so for a while, I was like, "Whatever, like, I can kinda drink caffeine whenever, and I actually do have a regular afternoon cup of coffee, but what I realized is when I would have it late in the day, yes, I could fall asleep, but I wasn't getting very good quality sleep, I wasn't entering very deep sleep, oftentimes I'd be, like, tossing and turning, and be like, "Man, it took me a long time to fall asleep last night." It's like, "Oh, duh, you had, like, an iced coffee at, like, 7 PM because you wanted to, like, be locked in for whatever game you were watching or whatever. And it's one of those things where you got to pause and think like, hey, how is caffeine going to impact my nighttime routine? So for me, I personally try not to have it after like 3 or 4, which I think is still pretty late if you talk to a lot of people. But I find that by the time my bedtime rolls around, which is like 10:30, is probably my best time to go to bed. I'm in pretty good shape to fall asleep.
Yeah, it's really interesting. I've thought about this a lot because I was working at a cafe for a bit and I was just thinking about my caffeine consumption in general. Um, I think one part of it is I would have coffee late and then I'd have bad sleep, but I would never necessarily correlate the 2.
Yeah.
I'd be like, "Oh, it's something that doesn't affect me," but then I'd have a bad night's sleep and I would never reflect on maybe why I had a bad night's sleep. I would just be like, "Oh, it was what," just chalk it up to that. So that's kinda part of it. I feel like I do have coffee around 3 or 4. I don't have trouble falling asleep, but sometimes my quality of sleep isn't always the best, like, I wake up more throughout the night, um, which can be part of it, and that's also something to consider, like, falling the amount of time it takes you to fall asleep, that sleep latency is not always the same as the quality of sleep you get throughout the night, and, like, there's a lot that goes into your overall quality of sleep, um, so yeah, I'm not really great about it because of my how my workday is. I work 11 to 7 on my feet, and around 3 or 4, I really like having an Alani. I'm not sure how great that is, but I'm also so exhausted by the end of the day, it doesn't matter that much. But it might be something I should consider for how good my quality of sleep will be, though, for that night. Maybe it's an experiment I can kinda do.
Yeah, that's what I've actually been experimenting with I've been drinking coffee like my entire adult life and I'm turning 30 later this year. So I mean that's like 10 plus years of an adult life drinking coffee. And I only recently a few years ago I was like, oh wow, when I drink like 5 cups of coffee, I'm wired at the end of the day and a little irritable and like don't always feel like overly satisfied with the outcome of my day. Huh. And then I cut back my caffeine and sure enough, I didn't feel that as much. That was only like a couple years ago, so it took me that long to be like, "Oh yeah, maybe I am drinking too much caffeine." And then only recently was I like, "Oh yeah, like now I'm probably drinking it too late at night." But I'm a little bit in the testing phase, Mallory. Um I haven't, like, tracked it well enough, but I'm trying to see what happens if maybe I, like, have my second cup of coffee at, like, noon and, like, call it then. And I'm sure, like, experts would tell you that, even just, like, having it in the morning would be ideal or something like that, but we are definitely, caffeine, drinkers, Mallory and I, so we do it sounds like morning and afternoon.
Yeah, there's also we forget there's caffeine in things like sodas and chocolate and, other
Yes.
things that we could be getting it from, like, things we also tend to like drinking in the evening, so just something to keep in mind as well. And then quick side note, not sponsored, but if sleep is something that actually is a big concern of you and you wanna get some data, like, I do have my Aura Ring, and it's been the best as far as if you're thinking about fitness trackers, I think Oura Ring's the best for sleep tracking if you really wanna get into that and seeing how these different things are affecting you. Again, not sponsored, we wish, but, I think it's a good tool if this is something that is a big issue in your life and you wanna start experimenting and seeing how things, affect your sleep. Um
Interesting point, Mallory, and I got an Oura Ring as well. Marsha was actually really into them, so she did a Christmas gift, to the family of Oura Rings, and I was like, "Oh, man, I don't wanna wear that thing because it's gonna tell me that, like, I am sleeping so bad and my habits are terrible." But then when I realized is I'm actually sleeping pretty decent. I mean, I'm not perfect, but, like, I actually was getting pretty good sleep and whatnot, and it's kinda like it was almost like that extra kick I needed to be like, "No, dude, like, you're fine, like, you can push through it," that sorta thing. But, then I know other people will, try it on. They're like, "Oh, wow, I do sleep terrible, and I do go to bed way too late, and this is saying that I should be going to bed, ideally at this time opposed to this time, and maybe I'm sleeping in too late, and if I shifted everything up 2 hours, that'd be good." And there is so much you can learn from it, just as, like, a baseline level, and to continue to track things. Now, I transparently haven't been wearing mine lately because I found that I was, like, not obsessing, but, like, I was really watching it, and let's say I'd have a poor, night's sleep, I'd be like, "Oh, man," or, like, my readiness level was down, I'd be like, "Oh, I'm cooked today," and, like, it would really get in my head. So I just haven't even been wearing it lately, but it is such a good tool, to track that and also, like, your fitness activities. There are so many different things you can do with it. Shout out Oura Ring.
Yeah, and I think, another issue with all of this is just, like, being tired in general, like you're just kinda saying, has become normal, and we just think it's something to put up with, um, but, again, you don't have to or vice versa, like you said, maybe we are using that also as an excuse, like, we're getting poor sleep, so we can't work out in the morning, or we can't do XYZ, so I think it is really good to start just actively thinking about your nighttime routines, your nighttime habits, and, did you have good sleep? Did you have bad sleep? And why? Something we don't think about often, but I don't know. Do you have some nighttime routines, Owen?
I do. Now, the first thing I'll say with my nighttime routine is I do too much screen time before bed. So if you were to look at my nighttime routine, maybe like scrap that part, but there are some other things that I do as well that I think really help. And one of the things too is like, let's say I am on my phone, like scrolling or whatever. I at least do tell myself where it's like, hey, I'm not just gonna get into bed and fall asleep. Like when I'm mapping it out in my head, like how much sleep am I gonna get? I'm like, okay, it's gonna be 30 minutes before I can fall asleep. So that is something too, where it's like maybe the way you wind down and like relax is actually in bed. Cause I know a lot of people are like kind of struggle with that. It's like, well, what do I do? Or do I read a book or just like take a shower or, do my nighttime routine. So you don't necessarily have to like fully ditch the screens, just know that it might take longer to fall asleep and you should account for that. But a few things that I started doing that really helped my nighttime routine. Um, one was honestly, just, like, establishing a routine. So I know I'm gonna go and grab, magnesium from the cupboard, and I don't like to do, like, a full cup of, it's almost like an electrolyte mix, like taste or, like, just like a flavored berry drink, but it's magnesium, and the magnesium supplement, really is just supposed to help essentially, like, clear your mind, settle your brain, and allow for, like, a deeper sleep. And what I notice, especially, like, right off the bat is, like, I would always be thinking about, like, the next day, and I got, like, this and that, and, like, kinda stay on top of these different things, and I just found that once I took the magnesium, like, once I was in bed, I was a little more relaxed, and then even, like, throughout the night, if I woke up, like, I'd just be able to more easily get back to sleep. Also, you can actually pair it with melatonin. Mallory, I don't know your experience with these, but, like, my doctor recommended, like, "Hey, if you do have trouble sleeping, you can consistently do melatonin." I know there's kind of mixed results on that where some people are like, oh, well, now I need to take more. And then they start building on that. Obviously, you don't want to do that. But doing like small doses of melatonin and pairing that with magnesium really can just help like kickstart your body into that sleep mode.
I will say, so I have looked a lot into sleep supplements because I had insomnia for a while. Um, L-theanine is another one that I use with my magnesium that's been really great. It's a natural, like, you can find it in green tea and things like that. You can also just have green tea, but that also often has caffeine, so that's why I take the supplement at night. But that's another one I like to take with magnesium. The thing with melatonin, our body naturally produces it. So it's not great to take frequently because your body will stop producing it on its own. Again, I am not a doctor, so, like, I'm probably not explaining this, like, perfectly or correctly. This is what I've heard. I've heard melatonin is best used to set a sleep schedule. That's why it's often recommended on, like, when you're traveling and you're in that really, like, messed up trying to set that sleep schedule, or say you're someone right now who's going, to bed at, like, 2 a.m. and sleeping until 1 p.m., and you want more of a regulated, like, maybe even, like, an 11 to 8, a little more regulated, that's, like, a good time to start using melatonin to, like, train your body to adjust to a new schedule. That's just what I've heard about it. Again, it's just because your body already makes it, so if you're taking it so frequently, your body's just not gonna make it on your own, and then you're gonna be reliant on it pretty much. Um, but I do think sleep supplements are good. I think magnesium is great. I think L-theanine's great. Um, Andrew Huberman is a guy who does podcasts and things. So that's where I got the L-theanine and magnesium. He also recommends another one, but I looked into it and it's not great for women. So, also that's why we don't just listen to podcasts and do whatever people say. Look into it on your own too. So that's why I don't take that one. But that's like some of what I do. Another little thing in my sleep routine is, and it's something I think that's interesting to think about, and I haven't until I had the Aura Ring, is I am someone who does wake up throughout the night, and I am someone who takes, like, 20-ish minutes to fall asleep. So, that means there's a difference between the amount of sleep I get and the amount of time I'm in bed. And that's something I need to plan on. So if I want 8 hours of sleep, I need to be in bed, like, at least 9 hours for that to happen from my track record. 'cause I tend to wake up and go to the bathroom in the middle of the night, and I take a little bit of time to fall back asleep, and, like, all of that adds up to about an hour of non-sleep, so I need to be in bed for 9 hours. Does that make sense? I don't know if you've noticed that too with your Aura Ring, but I gotta be in bed longer to actually get enough sleep.
Yeah, it definitely makes sense, and, the better your routine is, right, ideally, the less you're gonna be waking up and, it's all idealistic, right, where we're laying out our routines, but that's why the routines are important, that's why we are laying them out to hopefully minimize that as much as possible, but also be realistic and account for, like, "Hey, I'm probably not gonna just, like, sleep the entire 8 hours I'm in bed, like, that I'm not just gonna be a rock," that's just reality, but there are, aside from, like, supplements and just, like, having, like, less screen time and kinda, like, developing some consistency and whatnot, there's definitely some other things you can do. Easy one that I've noticed as well lately is, like, avoiding late meals. Sometimes I do, like, what I'll do is I'll shift my eating schedule, which is really, like, not ideal, but, like, I'll skip breakfast and I'll have, like, a lunch and, like, a dinner, and I'm like, "Oh, wow, like, I only really had 2 meals today, I'm still kinda hungry," and then I eat closer to bedtime, and I just feel like it definitely impacts my sleep, really in, like, a similar way that, like, the screen time does or drinking caffeine too late, because your body's working harder to digest that food instead of, relaxing and going to sleep. Um, but there are also, a few more things, like, just outside of, like, those things that you can do. We got, blackout curtains, because my wife used to work overnight, so she'd come home and sleep during the day, so, I mean, obviously, that's an essential for them, but even now, like, it is getting really bright pretty early, starting at, like, 5 a.m., so having those blackout curtains, just helps me, like, not start to wake up with the sun essentially because my timeline, that's kinda what's happening when I don't have those blackout curtains. I always like, sleeping with a fan as well. That's something that can be super underrated. White noise machines, are great. And then just like Mal, I don't know your opinion on this, but for me, I feel like with mattresses and pillows, I hear that something slightly different works for everyone. So, like, as much as possible, trying to experiment or, like, do some research on your mattress ahead of time and just make sure, like, you aren't neglecting that. If there is something that's if you do have a mattress that's pretty old, maybe you consider replacing it and then, yeah, like, experimenting with different pillows and whatever.
Yeah, I think that's a very personal thing, 1 pillow, 2 pillow, how the firmness of your mattress, that's why, like, there's full mattresses that have the 2 different sides if you have a partner. My other one is I don't have blackout curtains, but I use an eye mask. We also, at the store I work out, sell, like, these lavender weighted eye masks, and people, like, love the weighted eye masks to sleep with. And yeah, so there's a lot of good stuff and tools that can help you. I used to think eye masks were gimmicky until I started using it. I'm like, "Wow, this is effective." Especially, yeah,
Mhm.
like you're saying that early, it's 5 a.m. here and it's bright in my windows, even with the, like, blinds down.
And while we are talking about like these different accessories and things, sometimes it is easy to blame your mattress and be like, man, my mattress is no good, no bueno. Which first off, I would tell you like definitely trust your gut if you really think your mattress is bad. But the point is there are just so many other things that it could be too, whether it's that nighttime routine or something that I mentioned earlier, which was just like taking care of your body during the day. So you spend like 8 hours in bed and 16 hours on your feet all day. And if you're not properly supporting your feet with the right footwear, with the right shoes, your body's a chain, which we talked about a lot in the past. So your feet are supporting your ankles are supporting your knees are supporting your hips, and your hips support your spine or lower back, right? So maybe you're getting up in the morning, you're like, oh my gosh, like I just feel stiff, my lower back hurts, this mattress is the problem. And it might be, but also just consider like, hey, did I take care of myself the day before? Is this maybe like general soreness? Am I properly supporting my body? So again, when it's time to lay down and relax, your body is able to let go of that tension and it's not holding so much from the course of the day. So again, proper footwear will help with that, and then also insoles as well. If you're someone who's walking, standing, working, living in an active lifestyle, or specifically working out, a lot for yourself or even just like for anyone, whatever that may be to you. Insoles are a great tool that you can easily plug in and hopefully give your body a break throughout the day.
Yeah, definitely. We don't think enough about, yeah, what also happened throughout the day leading up to it. And
Hmm.
sometimes for better, sometimes for worse. And I definitely, I hate when like I have achy feet. I cannot sleep. I have to like put a pillow at the end of the bed, have my feet up. I have like a whole weird situation to get comfortable enough to even fall asleep at that point.
100%. So do yourself as many favors as you can. And really, I think the idea is better sleep doesn't have to be complicated. And most people already kind of know what helps them, but break down your nighttime routine. Are you developing consistency? And are there maybe a few different things that you could incorporate that we talked about, whether it's maybe like a supplement if you're struggling right now getting consistent sleep, or even just changing up like less screen time or your pillows, adding a fan? All of those things can really add up and get you optimal sleep, which will help you feel better and do more, which again is our slogan.
Yeah, I definitely feel like it's just being aware. Like, just be aware of, hey, was the sleep good or bad tonight? And maybe why? Like, don't make it complicated. Just start thinking about it.
Very well said. We appreciate you guys listening to the Orange Juice podcast. Hopefully, again, you picked up on a few things and you guys can catch some better sleep. Mallory, unfortunately, our day is just starting. So, after all this sleep talk, we do have to kick off the rest of the day. But to our listeners, maybe you're listening to this before bedtime. Hope you have a good sleep or a good rest of your day. Thanks again for listening, and we'll catch you next time on Orange Juice.